The next recipe I'm going to make is some potato salad. This is a very simple recipe that is served at barbecues or at parties, or is also nice just to have alongside things like simply cooked chicken drumsticks and such like. So my ingredients are some new potatoes, some spring onions, and I've got a few chives. And all I need to do is to make sure, first of all, that I'm using like a waxier new potato to actually make these with. And I'm simply just going to halve them because they're fairly small. Try and choose ones that are fairly even in size so they cook at a similar rate. So once you've got all of your potatoes into your saucepan, you then need to add to it a little bit of salt if you usually cook with salt at home. And then I'm going to put them on the hob and I'm going to add into them some boiling water. So I've got my potatoes in the pan and I'm just going to pour in some water from the kettle so that I just cover the potatoes. That's what we're aiming to do. And then I'm going to bring it back to the boil and then add the lid. Okay, you can see the potatoes now have come back to the boil. So I'm going to add the lid. And I'm going to reduce the heat now so that it's just simmering, and I'm going to cook them now for about 10 minutes. Right, my potatoes are now simmering, so I'm going to get the next ingredients, which are some spring onions. And what I'm going to do, in fact, is to top and tail them. So I'm going to cut off the roots. I'm going to have a look at the ends of them and decide where they stop looking nice, really, and I'm going to discard those bits too, and then I'm going to slice them finely with a sharp knife. Okay, so I'm going to pop those then into a small mixing bowl. And you can have a look at what's left behind, the green bits, and decide if any of it is worth having, because having a little bit of greenery in your salad actually looks quite pretty. So I'm going to put those bits in. So the chives have a purple flower on the top. Obviously you can't use those, but again they're quite pretty. I'm just going to get rid of the top. And then here are the chives then. I don't want anything that's too woody. That bit there is very woody, even though it looks to be quite fine. And then I'm simply going to slice these finely too. You can actually just use scissors to snip them if you wish, but since I've only got a small amount, I'm just going to use the same knife and chopping board. Okay, and they're going to get mixed in then with the spring onions. So into it now I'm going to add some mayonnaise, probably a couple of tablespoons. I'm going to add some salt. I'm going to add some pepper. Sometimes you can also add yoghurt just to make it a little bit lighter. And then I'm just going to mix those round. And then when my potatoes come out, and I've drained them and cooled them a little bit, I'm going to toss them together. So I'm just going to put that now to one side until I need it later. The potatoes have been cooking now for 7 to 10 minutes, so I'm going to very carefully remove the lid and check whether or not they are tender. So to do that I need to have a sharp knife, and I need to make sure that I can spear the potatoes quite easily with the knife. At that point I need to get my colander and I need to go over to the sink, put the colander in the sink and tip all the potatoes out, stand the colander back over the pan and then run the cold tap over the potatoes. You can't put them into the mayonnaise whilst they are hot. So now I've taken away some of the heat I'm just going to leave them like that now to drain and to cool for about 10 minutes before I can put them into the mayonnaise. Okay, back to the potato salad then. So here are my potatoes that I drained and cooled earlier. I'm actually going to utilise the pan again to save washing up. So I'm going to get rid of the excess water out of the pan. And then I'm going to tip my potatoes into the pan. And then the dressing that we had earlier, I'm going to tip that into. And then using a wooden spoon, I'm just going to toss them together. Like so. And then from there, they're just going to go straight into a serving dish. So here are the potatoes now, ready to be covered and chilled in the fridge.